I think at the time, initially, I think I said, you know, it rallies to around 4,000. I was a little off. Rallies.
What rallies to 4,000?
The S&P.
Yeah.
Probably gets to 4,200, 4,300. Look, it's always important from
Trading
my
at
perspective.
41.50 today, just so people know.
Yeah, it's always important from my perspective to just take the other side and just intellectually debate with oneself why the other side could be right. So at this point right now, what people would say is, okay, the Fed's going to capitulate at the beginning part of 2023. We have a pretty clear forecast for all the rate increases that have to happen. Everybody's doing the work that's necessary, either raising prices, cutting costs, or doing both, letting people go, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe we're there. Okay, so what's the other side of that? Well, I think, again, as I've stated before, the other side starts with energy. And the reason why I think it's important is that it really is the conflation of an economic system and a political system using an instrument. And if you look inside of what's happening in Europe, there's a lot of complexities here that I think need to get unpacked. So, for example, a couple of days ago, the French government basically said that they're going to start producing less nuclear energy. And you'd say, well, why would they do that? Well, it turns out because, the temperatures are so high, you cannot use the water to cool these nuclear reactors because the exiting water is then so hot that would actually destroy the ecosystem of the lakes and rivers that they use to feed natural fresh water in to cool the nuclear reactor. Second, because it's so hot, all the rivers are below their natural level. Barges that carry coal and nat gas are getting stuck on the Danube. The Po, which is the longest river in Italy that feeds all the fields, actually is below the level where it can actually offload the water. So farmers can't basically do what they need to do to produce a food supply. So if you play all of that out, you start to see an issue where by, October, November of this year, we're back into the same complexity where energy is the tip of the spear around which everybody starts to debate all of the national security issues that we have to deal with, the Ukraine war, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. I mean, you've made a lot of money this year by basically doing the following, which is the exact opposite of everybody else. When everybody else was freaking out, had you bought, you would have made a ton of money. Now everybody's like, it's over. And you can tell that by looking at the VIX, which is the volatility index. We're about to get into the high teens. You have systematically, it has been true that when the VIX is in the teens, you tend to basically buy volatility, which is essentially you get short stocks. And when the VIX is in the 30s, you tend to basically sell volatility and you buy equities because we've hit the bottom. If you've been doing that for the last year, you've made a ton of money. So there you have it. I really don't know what's going to happen from here, but I tend to think things still have to get a lot worse to flush everything through the system.